Okay, well, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me. Some of you have done this exercise with me before, but I think it's always a good one to have a bit of a refresher on. So I'm just going to share my screen, if I can find the right screen. There we go. Let's just go into full page mode. There we are. Cool. Paul, you're going to keep a weather eye on any questions for me, aren't you? Okay, thank you. Right, so this is a really nice exercise that you can do when you are having those times you're completely stumped for content. So a couple of little bits of housekeeping. So before you even begin to start thinking about, what you're going to share, how you're going to share it, how you're going to phrase it, just make sure that your content is hitting any of the below markers. So it needs to be inspirational, educational, or entertaining. So remember IE, and I do expect to hear all of you at some point send me voice messages going IE, because that would be brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, so these are the main reasons why we go on social media. We go to be entertained, we go to learn something, or we go to be distracted from whatever it is that we're doing. Has someone got an answer machine going on in the background? Very bizarre. I can hear someone's voice now. It's really strange.
I'm spotting them and muting them, Laura.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Okay, so if you just grab yourself a pen and a piece of paper, and I'd like you to draw this lovely little quadrant that we've got here.
That's a bit taxing for them.
It's a bit what?
A bit taxing for them.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to make them talk to me in a minute as well. So, and in your lovely little quadrant, you're going to have one box for something that you did, one box for something that you saw, one box for something that you heard, and another box for you to just doodle in. So when I say doodle, I mean just scribble the first thing that comes into your brain.
Oh dear.
I know. I'm so sorry, Andy. Keep it clean. Keep it clean, people. Okay, and then in a minute I will start picking on you all so that I can. Let me just resize this properly. There we go. Now I can see everybody's face. Yay! Okay, so I am going to pick on, first of all, I'm going to pick on Sean because he's done this exercise before. So it gives everybody else a couple of seconds to keep going with their scribbling. So Sean, tell me something that you've done this week. And unmute yourself.
There we go. Now I'm not in mute. I managed to sort out the supply chain for plants to replace the garden centres.
Yay, well done.
Hey, awesome. So, that's something that you could be sharing on social media. So it's, I mean, that would be quite a nice warm fuzzies post. And when I say warm fuzzies, I mean it's the thing that you share that's it's just to make people feel good. It gives them a nice feeling. So for you could you're already going to do an email to the hive mind of business community to let people know that they can still order plants through you because they can't go to the garden centres, but you could be doing a well-being slant on it. So because obviously your business is based on biophilic design and being outside, and if you can't be outside you bring nature into you, so you can do an entire series just on that. Cool. Okay, let's pick on Daniel O'Connor. Something you saw. Yeah. Sorry. So tell me something that you've seen that's happened over the last week.
Okay. Being quite a spiritual person, and this has only just happened to me because I was out doing some work in the back garden just before coming on here, and seeing a red robin is supposed to be quite significant, and this robin did not want to leave the garden. It just kind of it was almost following me around.
They do that. And they're very cheeky little birds.
I'd not seen one get that close before though. It was quite, not spooky, but it was, yeah, it kind of connected with something in me. I mean, I know that, past, relatives or friends or whatever, but yeah, it was quite moving actually.
Yeah, and I get that would just be a really nice social media post that you could do.
Yeah, not something to do with my business, but hey.
Well, it doesn't have to be. The point of social media is that you're using it as a platform to build relationships with your potential clients or with your potential brand ambassadors. And for you, because you do coaching and you have quite a nice focus on mindset, so you could actually be doing a post about how this is, it's brought up a slightly different way of thinking for you, because it's something that you've stopped, you've noticed, and you've not seen it happen before. So you could be talking about how you're actually processing that, and then you can relate that back to the kind of work that you do in the coaching element of your business, which is kind of, it's looking at things and noticing things and how people work, so that you can then help them.
Yeah, I mean, when I say I was working, I wasn't actually gardening. I was actually sitting outside in the garden, working, putting some kind of thoughts and stuff together about coaching, well-being, etc. So, yeah.
So that's another thing. So you can say that today you've decided to work out in your garden in the sunshine, because why not? You're not chained to a desk.
No.
If you don't even have to necessarily have internet to do that. You could be working with pen and paper outside and going back
Which
to
I was,
basics.
yeah,
and then you can kind of talk about the tactileness of pen and paper. So for some people, they prefer to have lists. Some people prefer to have digital tools, and you could be talking about you can sort of playing to your strengths in that, and sort of getting into that element of creativity and the things that you can be doing to help sort of spark that creativity in your mind.
Yeah, I'm a bit old school like that. I do like to kind of get stuff down where I can feel it and see it. The energy seems to be more powerful then for me. Yeah,
and that's something that you could be communicating to your potential clients, and you can also be turning that into a conversation. And you could even run a poll on social media and say, okay, so who prefers using a digital calendar? Who prefers using pen and paper? Which school do you fall into? And then that way you're getting people to talk to you, and the more that people are talking to you, the more visible you become, because social media algorithms reward engagement.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the whole point of this exercise is to find ways that you can turn something into a conversation, so
Sounds
that
good.
you are having that interaction on social media, and you're becoming more visible without having to actively sell to people.
Yeah.
So you can, it's just another way to share your expertise without having to sit down and do a sales pitch first.
Yeah, that's good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, who am I going to pick on next? I'm going to pick on Sarah Wood. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
I really enjoyed your presentation this morning.
Thank
by the way,
you.
it was awesome.
Thank you.
So can you tell me something that you've heard in the past week?
Well, it's not terribly exciting and actually fairly relevant. Something about Zoom improving their security with all the issues with Zoom bombing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, cool. So again, from that you could be asking how many people are actually using Zoom at the moment. You could be talking about the kind of things people can do to make sure that it's slightly more secure. So there are some meetings that you can, or I think they've automatically set up passwords for meetings now to kind of cope with the Zoom bombing aspect. But you could also almost relate that to businesses that have experienced really, really rapid growth, because barely anyone was using Zoom before we all went into lockdown. And of course now they have thousands of people every day using it. And so you could be sort of looking at how to scale the security to the growth of your business for their websites.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, and then you can do an entire blog post about that. You could do an entire series about it.
Let's go.
Yep. Okay.
Awesome. Cool. I'm going to make sure that I speak to everybody so that you all get to walk away with something today. So I'm going to go to Charles Jones. Hey buddy, take yourself off mute. There we go. Cool.
How's it going?
It's marvellous, thank you. So something you did, Charlie.
Something I did. I've just built a counter in my office. I've turned it into a shop
Awesome.
because I'm going to. After all this is over, I'm going to start printing photos for
Hey.
people. So, yeah,
Fantastic.
I've changed it around, and yeah, I've literally just come back from doing that. So
Awesome. Okay, so you could be doing you could do a little video walkthrough, because your videos have been quite good on social the last couple of weeks. So that's been fantastic, and that way you'll still kind of, if people are starting to expect to see videos from you, you're still kind of meeting their expectations, and you're also using it as a way to kind of, you're letting people know that, you know, your business is still going even though the events have been cancelled. You're putting things in place to make sure that you're ready for when everything goes, fingers crossed, back to normal. And so, you know, you could just be doing this quick little walkthrough and say, you know, okay, so I mean, do you do much DIY?
occasionally.
Yeah, so you could then be sort of asking people if they're sort of doing any DIY during the quiet period, during the lockdown, and
Yeah.
that way you can be, again, having conversations with people as well.
Yeah, I won't be doing like a top tips on how to do it though.
No,
No,
I think that's fair. That's okay. Yeah. But yeah, you could you know, you could just do like a weight test or something on this cabinet that you've got.
I don't know if I trust myself with that either. But yeah, no,
do
I
a
get what
dry
you
run
mean.
first,
Yeah.
off camera.
Well, it could be humour. So
Yeah, exactly. But you know, again, it's showing the human element of your business
Yeah.
as well. So it's not a, oh my god, everything's been cancelled, I'm going to have to go into hiding and just, you know, bury my head in the sand until it's over. It's actually showing you in a very, very positive light, because it's showing that you have faith in your business, certainly, and it's also just, it shows that, you know, you can manage conflict, you can handle it, and you know, that's something that I think a lot of people want to see at the moment as well, because it's comforting to us.
Yeah.
To see that not everything is going tits up.
Yeah. Stay positive.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Okay, next I'm going to pick on Paul Drake. Hello, Paul. Unmute yourself, my love. There you go. Awesome. So, Paul, tell me something you saw.
Something I saw. Similar to earlier chap whose name I completely forgotten. Sorry. I saw Robin out in our garden eating some suet pellets we put out for him, sitting there chomping away quite happily. Really loved to see it. Sit out in the garden, back with nature.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah. So again, you could because obviously you digital marketing and your whole sort of ethos is we speak geek.
Mm-hmm.
So you could maybe do a little spin on some birds, you know, bird geekery, basically. So you could kind of go, okay, so I'm at home, I'm not in my my lovely digital space at the moment, but I'm keeping a running list of all the birds that I can actually see in my garden, because I now have the time to actually sit and watch them.
I wish.
yeah. But you know, again, it's something that you can be sharing just to.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just another way to find connections with people too, because you'll be amazed as soon as you start talking about birds. You'll be astounded the number of people who just suddenly go, oh, I like birds too. Oh, this is amazing. And so you know, again, you get to have some really nice conversations, and you get to show that human side of your business as well. So it's not just I build websites, I live in a cupboard under the stairs, or I live in a cold storeroom with all the servers. It's you know, oh, Charlie's daughter. Hello. So you know, that's going to be again, it's showing the human element.
Yeah. So would you ask? Would you say sort of what birds you get in your garden, something like that? Would that work? Or?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Or you know, you could you know, if you want to sort of phrase it in terms of lockdown, you can say, you know, you can ask how many people are actually noticing the birds more, because we're kind of, you know, we're all sat there looking a bit glum and either staring at the TV or staring out the window going, oh, outside, I love the outside. So yeah, you can do it from a fairly empathetic viewpoint.
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, yeah, cool. He's just come back out. He's back as we speak. Sitting on the
Is
feet.
he?
He is. Bless him.
Lovely. Hello, Robin. We salute you. Okay, next I'm going to go to Stephen Mather. Hello, Stephen.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. It was nice to meet you this morning at the MK meeting. Okay, so Stephen, tell me something that you heard this week.
I guess one of the things when you're talking about what you're talking is, are you just talking about things generally, or does it have to be anything related to business?
It can be whatever you like. It doesn't have to be 100% related to your business.
And does that work? So obviously, one of the things that people think about solicitors, I'm a solicitor for the rest of the group that haven't met me before, is that we have a level of professionalism that I can never achieve. And so, but in social media terms, I want to at least try to make it look semi-professional.
Yeah.
So how do I do stuff like that without, being too flippant?
You can talk about bourbon, Stephen.
About what's that?
Bourbon biscuits.
Yeah, you see, so I'll do that on my personal social media without any doubt. I mean, if you look at my personal Facebook, it would just be about brie and bourbons right now. But
hopefully not at the same time.
One after another, maybe.
Okay.
I'm getting quite desperate. But on my business feed, I wouldn't be doing that because I wouldn't want potential new people to look on and go, hang on a minute. If they don't know me, they don't realise that I'm just having some fun.
Okay. Sentence, it's just gone completely out of my head. How are you expecting people to get to know you on your business social media if you don't show anything about yourself, if it's only about the business?
They probably wouldn't get to know me as an individual. Yeah, it's like having a different voice for the business.
Do you have other solicitors that you work with, or is it just yourself?
Yeah, my business feed would just be myself. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would say that certainly from the point of view of hiring a solicitor, we tend to go with people that we know, like, and trust. It's all there's always the old cliche of people by people. So for you, I would say that your social media is going to be angled slightly more towards getting the word of mouth referrals, and it works on social media the same way that it works in networking. We tend to promote the people that we know, the people that we like, people who've helped us in some way, shape or form. So for you, I mean, do you have a normal office premises?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It's at home, but it's a proper office and stuff.
Is there a danger, Stephen, that if you keep it too professional, that you just come across as another boring, stuffy solicitor, which you're absolutely not, and therefore being a bit more light-hearted, even with the bourbons and the brie and the piano playing, I can't see that doing you any harm.
No,
but personally, I can't. It may be something within your profession that you're concerned with how it might come across, but is that to other solicitors, or is it to potential clients that actually want to know you're half human?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Link, like, bourbons they're a biscuit, and generally you have biscuits at a meeting. Maybe what's your favourite biscuit to have at a meeting? I had a meeting today and it was about XYZ, this is what I do.
Yeah.
But it can just, food for me, it's such a nice opener. And like cheese, well, I don't know anyone who doesn't like cheese, so I would use it, but tilt it and bring it back.
Yeah, so you can still frame it in the terms of your business. So it could be that the thing that you've seen today is you've done a webinar where you've been talking to people about social media, and everybody's kind of voted saying, actually, I think you should talk about the bourbon biscuits on your social.
I guess it's also a question of whether the bourbon biscuits will last long enough for you to photograph them, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, they've all gone. And Shannon, if there was a meeting with Bourbon Biscuits coming out at the start, they would be finished before I started talking.
Nice.
You could still talk
Nice.
about them, Stephen. That's the important
Yeah,
thing.
and you can take a photo of the crumbs or the empty packet.
Me just
Yeah.
licking the plate. It's
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
just
much.
desperate times right now. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'll
I
let
mean,
you.
sorry, Stephen. I mean, what I would say as well is that my job is basically I'm an osteopath and I fix people for a living, but it's not particularly exciting when I meet people for the first time. So, and what I've found with social media is that the more of yourself you reveal, I don't mean all of it, but the more human you come across as, the better it is in terms of differentiating yourself from the crowd. The solicitors and accountants they're not the most exciting jobs in the world, but it's your personality that makes it more interesting. So don't be afraid to present who you are as well as what you do.
And if you've not got a personality, then what do you do?
Then you take your name to Paul Green.
Then
and
you're
that makes it very
doomed.
difficult. There you go.
I get by with it, Stephen. So you should be all right.
Yeah. If I had 10% of your personality, Paul, I'd be happy.
Wow, that's all right.
And if you had 100%, you'd be in prison, but that's another story altogether.
Oh no. Okay, cool. So let's move on to you, Bob. So tell me, because you're next on my list. I'm kind of going round. So yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
So tell me something that you've done in the last couple of weeks.
Something that I have done in the last couple of weeks. In the last couple of weeks, I have been developing my online appointments thingy, my online osteopathic appointments. So I have been working on that and have examples of people that I have used, and I have even had a client based in New York.
Fantastic. So that's something that, that's definitely something you could be shouting about on social media. So
I am. Yes, I am. You're obviously not following me on social media, young lady.
I am following you. I am. It's mostly when I see Fred the skeleton.
Yeah.
I am very much enjoying.
There will be more of Fred, don't worry.
Brilliant. But yes, so you can be sort of promoting the fact that you have gone online and sort of talking about perhaps talking about the differences between doing an online consultation and a face-to-face one, and whether you found that it's slightly more limiting to do it online, or whether yeah, exactly. So it's not making much difference. So
it's all on its way, Laura, and don't worry. I'm planning a campaign that's going to have all of that stuff in it. But yeah, there's stuff coming out in dribs and drabs. Like I did something yesterday, posted that onto Twitter and LinkedIn about that Solus Healthcare has gone global, because we are now available all over the world.
Which is absolutely brilliant. So gold star for you, Bob. Well done. Okay, I'm going to go now to Bharat. You have to unmute yourself, my love.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Cool.
Hi.
So tell me about something that you've seen in the last couple of weeks, Bharat.
Seen?
Yeah.
Aside from the numpties that drive down past my house at 100 miles an hour, that's quite annoying. But yeah, not a lot happening. I've just been basically, for those that know me, I've just come out of a bit of an illness, so I'm sort of still recuperating. So this coronavirus has helped a little bit in the sense that it slowed the world down while I catch up. But from that perspective, really just keeping tabs with what's been going on, and what the update is and who's doing what and that kind of thing. So yeah, eyes and ears open really at the moment.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so you could be sharing a post about how the world has slowed down a little bit, and it's been quite a good effect for you personally, and then business wise, lots of people are taking the time at the moment to actually work on their business rather than in it. And just to remind me, so you have a password.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Kind of thing, don't you?
Yeah, it's all about taking the need of to remember, passwords, and having a system that manages authentication and access to corporate data, or your own data, basically.
Awesome. Okay. So, from that, we've all got lots and lots and lots that we're thinking about at the moment, with all in a bit of a state of heightened anxiety. So, when we do get really stressed, our memories are rubbish.
Absolutely.
So what if you're trying to set up a new system now, and then you're going, oh God, I can't even think what the password is, and I had it written down on a piece of paper somewhere, and I've lost it because my children keep coming in and playing on my desk, and so all this kind of element of you're taking the pain away.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people who use Microsoft Office, Office 365 in particular, Microsoft are very controlling in the sense that they are forcibly changing passwords, or times to change passwords, and you've got no real control over that. So, situation about when password change time comes along, you're forever having to sort of refresh, and you can't recycle because Microsoft won't allow it. So this system will allow you to effectively have a third-party piece of software actually control that aspect. So you're not worried about passwords. All you've got to remember is your PIN number.
Okay. So again, for something like that, you can be talking about the control element, particularly at the moment, because a lot of us don't feel like we have control of much.
Yeah.
And again, that brings really heightened anxiety. So you can actually be focusing it from this is something that you can control. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Lovely.
It makes
Okay.
sense to anybody else, but definitely to me.
Good. All right, I shall move on to Sarah McCarran.
Hello.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
So tell me something that you've done in the last couple of weeks.
Fell downstairs yesterday.
Excellent.
Yeah. I've got a lovely bruise on my bum to prove it.
Oh, no.
So you've still got plenty supply of wine then, Sarah?
I don't drink wine, that's the trouble. I'm allergic to it.
Oh, no. Oh, sad. I have a friend who's allergic to wine. She's absolutely devastated by it. She's exchanged vodka instead, so she's okay with that.
I'm fine with gin though.
Excellent. Good. So what do you do, Sarah? What's your business?
Family history and genealogy.
Okay.
So yes, at the moment I'm sitting. Obviously, my job involves a lot of sitting down. So I now have a lovely coccyx cushion because obviously sitting down is quite painful at the moment. So I have a lovely shaped cushion that's helped me sit for a long lot of hours.
Fantastic.
Too much information, I know.
I'm sure that there's a stairway to heaven angle that we could use in that if you're sort of talking about tracing family lines.
Yes.
I literally slid out of my family tree this morning. I fell down the stairs.
Yeah, or it's clumsiness inherited.
Yeah. Is it genetic? Who knows? So you can now be sort of having a bit of a joke, saying, "Okay, I'm now going back through my family tree to see if anybody else had any notable stair sliding incidents." And you can angle it from that way. So it's still it's slightly funny. It's very empathetic because I'm sure all of us have fallen down the stairs at some point. I managed to fall down the stairs on an alarmingly regular basis. I think the most spectacular pratfall I had was I was already on my way to A&E because I'd just broken 3 ribs because I had a wine display fall on me at the bar that I used to work at. And on my way out, I fell down the stairs and face planted the wall at the bottom of the staircase. Swore very, very loudly, stood up and turned around, and there was a bunch of small children on the other side of the bar with some very cross-looking parents. So I had to apologise and then kind of do a little eagle style shuffle out of the restaurant. So you could be asking other people, what's the most spectacular pratfall that you've ever done?
Yes. Well, can you recommend a good osteopath to fix you afterwards?
Exactly. If only I don't know any osteopaths. If only I did.
Oh, did I promote myself widely enough then, Laura?
No, you've got to do some more, Bob. Got to do some more. Cool. Okay, I'm going to go to Chris Lambert next. Hello, lovely.
So, just deal with a client text.
Have you done a doodle?
I haven't today. But, we did this, was it a few days ago in BizCon. And for some bizarre reason, I just did a doodle of an elephant.
An elephant, okay.
Yeah, absolutely no reason at all for it. It just doodled it. I don't even know why.
Excellent.
Other than possibly just the massive amount of pink in your presentation.
Possibly. Pink elephants, yeah.
Or the massive amount of alcohol I'd consumed the night before, I don't know.
I've just got cotton candy pink everywhere. So if you've done a little doodle of an elephant, you could be talking about sort of, password security and do it like an elephant never forgets kind of thing. And you could be talking about people's their software history, their browser histories, all the kind of security elements that you do. So it could be like okay, fine, your computer is a bit like an elephant. It doesn't forget where you've been and things that you've done. So then you can be promoting your tidy up security side of the business.
Yeah, it's worth a go.
Yeah. Cool. I want to see this doodle as well. I expect to see a photo of it later.
I will dig it out from the pile of BizCon notepads I've got and share it with you.
Okay, cool. And Heather, you're next.
I shall unmute myself. Yeah.
Fantastic. So Heather, tell me something that you've done over the last couple of weeks.
Something that I've done. Well, I've come from being a limp lettuce leaf to a sturdy walker. So I've gradually ramped up from zilch physical energy to pretty near to back to normal in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it's been great. That's not what I've got written down.
Yeah, that's all right. And
I've been walking out in the fresh air and in the countryside and just engaging with nature. It's been beautiful.
Yeah, fantastic. And so I think for you, because I know that you've this morning you were mentioning about UW and they have that Tim Mollick mentioned it, so it's £2 a month for
the bill protector.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you could be kind of relating that to, so you've had a few weeks off because you've been under the weather and you've not been working. So then what are you supposed to do when it comes time to pay your energy bills? And then you can be doing this little sense of promotion for UW, saying, well, actually, it's been really helpful for me, and I know that it's helpful for a lot of my clients at the moment because some people have become very suddenly out of work.
Yeah.
And then you can be inviting people to have that initial chat with you, that initial consultation, to see how you can help them.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe the number of my customers who are claiming on bill protector, and it's fantastic. £2 a month.
Yeah, so why not shout about it?
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Yvonne, you are next on my list.
Oh, hi there.
Hello. Tell me something that you've seen the last couple of weeks.
I've seen my grandkids actually, which is really nice. I've actually seen them in the flesh as they've driven past and thrown things out the window at me.
So
yeah, because I miss not seeing them. So yeah, it's really quite nice actually.
Yeah. So that's that would be the kind of warm fuzzy post that I was talking about earlier. So that's a kind of, actually this has made my day. I have been at home, still working. I'm missing my grandkids, but they drove past and waved at me the other day, and it's just really made your day.
It does, yeah. And it's also it brings into my business that thinking of ways people can, while they're not actually seeing them, perhaps putting money away for them for a rainy day, and the saving obviously, and ways of looking after the grandkids.
Absolutely. And you could be looking at bonds and things at the moment. So I know that it's kind of become a bit of a gift to buy some premium bonds for a baby, and then they mature on their 21st birthday or something like that. So you could be looking at that element too.
Yeah, and also it got me thinking on the lines of seeing the children. I mean, obviously with this we're hearing now, we heard about the nurse from the NHS that very suddenly died, and obviously they've managed to save her baby. has she made a will? Because where's that young baby going to go? At the moment, if she hasn't made a will, it's going into foster care. Not made the provision, and I hate to say it, but there are younger people, things do happen if it's not in black and white, and it just gets you start thinking. And I think this is a time when people are starting to think. So again, it kind of all ties in with what I do to achieve that no worries lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that's something that you can be sharing, so you can be sort of helping to promote this sense of emotional security that some people will get from having a will, or just, you know, it could be okay, suddenly we're all suddenly very aware of our own mortality, but what do we actually have in place to make sure that, you know, everybody that we love is taken care of afterwards? And yeah, and from that perspective, that would be a very empathetic post as well. And it's, you know, it's not so much a bit of self-promotion and more you know, if you want to talk through things that you can have in place, you know, any protective measures, then give me a call.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I mean, you know, it's only because I was one of these people that was, it's never going to happen to me. It never happens. It happens to everybody else. It never happens to me. But guess what? It did happen to me with a big bombshell a few years ago. Like, so that's why my company was set up, because I wouldn't want to see anybody else to go through what I had to go through.
Yeah, but I mean, now is a perfect time to be sharing that element of your own personal story. As well, because again, it's going to show that you're not just there going, give me money, buy from me. You're there saying, actually, I want to help people. I want to make sure that nobody ends up in the situation that I've gone through myself. And it's when we start to share certain elements of our personal history, or let people have new insights into, you know, things that have happened for us, and it's our reason why we do the things that we do. That's the perfect moment for you to start building relationships as well, because it's giving people something precious, really. You're sharing something about yourself with them, so you're already creating a sense of trust, because you're talking to them, you know, like they're human beings, which they are.
Yeah, it's just obviously up until now nobody's wanted to talk about death or what happens if, you know. It's like, well, there are things you can get in place.
Yeah,
the worst, you know, that's kind of why. And also just helping people along with their financial journey so they get the no worries lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's brilliant. Okay, Margot, you are next. Hello. You have to unmute yourself.
Am I unmuted? Yes.
You are unmuted. Hello, Margot. Nice to see you again. It's been hours, literally hours.
Which one am I supposed to be on?
So let's look at something you heard.
Oh God. Right. Something that's non-business.
Or it can be business related. It's entirely up to you.
I was told this week that apparently Google was first of all called back rub. Things that are to do with money and whatnot. Yeah, that's about the only entity. Well,
so when how did you come across that? Was it
just talking to a friend, and we were just talking about Google and how Google's, you know, part of it's a word that we use. It's part of the language now, and where it came from. And he said, "Did you know that when it first came out, it's called back rub? Why was it back rub? Don't know." But
that's really weird. But
weird.
You know, that's just an entire social media post there, so you can share that and be like, you know, oh, okay, so you know, I learned this. Did anybody else know that? Does anyone know why it was originally called back rub?
Well, I mean, I could tell you also that 1 in 10 Europeans were conceived in an IKEA bed. Did you know that?
I did not.
There you go. I'm not.
This is some good general knowledge that's
not been verified, but anyway, there you go. There you go.
Is that the same bed or different beds?
Ah, now there's a question. I have no idea.
So if it's the same bed, then that is some guy, isn't it?
It is some big bed.
That too.
There
man.
Anyway.
But yeah, so you know, you can just have that as a conversational post. Just you know, okay, I learned something new today.
Well, it changes from hearing the birds singing and things like that. So anyway, there you go.
Fantastic. Okay, Russell Parker, you are next.
Hello.
Hello. So tell me something that you've done.
Something that I've done. It's hard to pick one, I suppose. Apart from moving everything online, I guess the newest thing I've done was, I think on Saturday afternoon we had a board game session online, which is something I've never done before. So a group of us got together and spent a good few hours on Saturday just kind of, playing board games.
Yeah, cool. So, that can just be a post of, okay, so I've moved most things to online. It's not usually my field of expertise, but, this is something that we've done, and then, I'm relating it to work and to play.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And yeah, because most of the other stuff I've done has been more or less just moving all the training onto an online platform of some description or another. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to quickly whiz through to Shannon, because I know Paul wants us to wrap this up fairly quickly. So, Shannon, tell me something that you've done in the last couple of weeks.
Something we've done in the last couple of weeks is more videos of the food that we're giving people, and like how-to videos as well.
Awesome. Okay, so you can you could be asking people who sort of saying, have you seen our how-to videos, and then ask them to actually share photos of the food that they've made.
Nice.
As well. So you can be saying, okay, so share a photo of it and please tag us in it, particularly on Instagram as well, because then again you're becoming more visible. So if you're asking people to tag you in photos of things that they've cooked, or to tag you in photos of things that they want to see you make for them, then again that way you're getting that nice element of sort of conversation going, and you're becoming more and more visible as well, because it's very good on Instagram to be tagged in other people's posts. Cool. Okay, and so I'm gonna finish it there, and there's time for questions if anybody has anything left that they want to run through.
Any questions for Laura Ann on any social media aspect while she's here?
Yeah, I have.
Go ahead.
Laura Ann, timing. How much difference does it make?
What, as in the times that you post?
Yeah, because lots of people have different views on it, and I'm open to be convinced.
Yeah, I would with as far as timing goes, you do need to test it. So you try posting at 7 AM on Monday on LinkedIn, and then the next week you try posting at 7 PM on Monday on LinkedIn, and you just kind of keep a weather eye on it really, and see which posts are getting the highest engagement. And from that you can then look at the time that you posted it, and the days, and the particular type of content that it was, and that way you can get more of an idea of what works very well for your audience.
Yeah, so it's basically just trial and error, isn't it, really?
Yeah, basically, it's what a lot of marketing is. I'll share that little secret with you. It's predominantly trial and error, but someone else is doing it for you.
The thing is, though, how important is it for this analysis of the data, that the transaction times and when you post and all that kind of thing? I hear that people spend a lot of time analysing the data. I mean, does that play a big part in getting some real success?
I mean, it can do. It really depends on how deeply you want to actually analyse the data. But there's also the fact that what worked fantastically one month might flop the next, because particularly with social media, you're dealing with human beings who are an unknown quantity. So they might have loved something one month, and then the next month they go, oh yeah, I'm over that.
Yeah.
So
is that why sorry, Laura, I was going to say, is that why people repeat their posts from time to time?
Yeah, partly, but also one of the main sort of schools of thought for repeating posts is that the person who saw your post the first time round, they're probably not going to see it the second time round, and so it's this idea of just trying to be a bit smarter with the amount of content that you produce, So instead of going, okay, I'm on three different social media channels, I want to post 5 days a week, so actually I need to come up with 15 pieces of content every week. No, you come up with 5 and you just post the same piece of content at a different time of day or a different day entirely on a different platform. So it's being a bit smarter about it. So you don't have to constantly create original content every day, because that part is a full-time job, and a lot of people, they don't have time for that. And I can tell you, I don't have time for that, and I work in social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's more you know, when you are repeating some content, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I would just perhaps change the caption that goes with it a little bit.
Okay.
Laura, somebody else earlier was mentioning about, you know, timing of posting. Something I was advised a few years ago now was to post early, lunchtime and evening. And I did for a wee while, and I thought, this is awful. I'm going to turn my friends off rather than anything else, posting, or friends and wider. You know, and I have a niece who does that, and I don't even look at anything now because I'm so sick of seeing her posting. So,
well, and you know,
on...
from that perspective, then you know, her posts presumably aren't targeted to you. So is that more from just a social, like a non-work perspective, Heather?
No, she's a life coach, so she puts out a lot of you know, ditties and whatnot. It's just too much. It's 3 times a day. It's like too much, you know, popping up saying Kelly's posted something. Kelly's
yeah. I mean, I would say that you want to be posting at least once a day, and it really does vary depending on which platform you're on. So if you're on Instagram, it's better to post upwards of 3 times a day. Whereas if you do that on Facebook, people will find it boring. So it's fairly dependent on which platform you're on, but it also depends on who you're trying to speak to as well. And one of the best things you can do is you can go onto your business pages, both on Facebook, so it's Facebook Insights and Instagram Insights, and you can actually see when your fans or people who are liking your page, you can see when they're going to be the most active, and then you can make sure that you're posting your content at that time.
Right.
So it gets in front of more eyeballs who are willing to see it.
Laura, is it good to repost or share people's posts, or does it have to
Absolutely. If you are going to repost something or reshare, just make sure that you are saying why you're resharing it, because you need to give people a reason for them to actually look at it. If you just like share, and for example, if Paul writes an article and I find it on LinkedIn and I just share it and I say absolutely nothing about it, no one is going to click through to that article because I haven't given them a reason to. So it's, you know, instead of just dropping something in front of people and expecting them to do something for you, you need to give them a reason to do it. So if you are going to reshare, then you say, okay, I found this really interesting because XYZ, or this resonated with me, or, you know, I met this person, I've had a one-to-one with them, they're really interesting, this kind of thing. So you're giving people a reason to actually click on whatever it is that you're sharing.
Good, thank you.
Ooh. Anybody else?
Sarah Wood's got a hand up.
Oh, Sarah, fire away.
One of the things I struggle with is, particularly with Instagram, is the fact that Instagram being image-based, it's very hard to translate what I do into images. I mean, sure enough, when I have a new website, it's, yay, here's a new website, here's a pretty picture. But that's an area I definitely find hard, is to, how do I turn a subject which is very non-image based into an image-based platform?
Okay, so
Do you have to use the image-based platform?
Well, no, but it's Instagram. If I want to be on Instagram, it's images.
Generally speaking.
Why are you on Instagram then? Do you think your clients are there, or it's just a platform you like?
It's I think that my clients are on Instagram. They are Facebook's. My clients are generally younger than the Facebook generation.
Okay, cool. So you could be sort of sharing like image snippets of areas of the website that you're designing. So it could be, okay, so I'm working on this particular website at the moment and they're going for these brand colors. So this is how I'm sort of introducing that to their website. And you can just do screenshots of, you know, whatever it is that you're doing. So, you know, obviously providing you're not sharing lots of people's information around by accident. But you know, you could be doing that kind of thing, and you can, I mean, you could have FAQs as well, so you can have a nice graphic for that, and then just have it.
One,
yeah, and you could be doing Ask Me Anything posts as well. So again, you can just have a nice graphic for that.
Is there? I mean, I've delved into Canva a bit. I mean, I'm not a graphic person, so I find just producing a graphic is quite a challenge for me. I mean, I can do very simple ones. I mean, is Canva the best one? Is there anything even simpler than Canva?
I love Canva. It's my playground. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to use it. It's the actual using of the software is fine. It's just I struggle to come up with, say, the graphical elements. So but yes, I hadn't really thought of doing things like FAQs and so on like that.
Yeah, well, what we can do, Sarah, as well, is that we can have a chat sort of outside of this as well, and we'll talk about how you can actually build a couple of templates in Canva as well, so you still get that nice sense of brand consistency.
That's very good, because that's one thing I definitely have not got is brand consistency.
we will do that thing.
Marie Louise did a webinar on Canva yesterday.
She did.
You can access the recording, Sarah, if you want to.
Oh yes, I would. I wanted to listen to that, but I was really busy yesterday, so I will have a look at the recording.
I'll share the link in the chat as to where people can find future webinars and recorded webinars.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, grateful.
Sarah, Marie Louise can help you with the branding as well, with your branding consistency. That's what she does. She's very good at that.
Thank you.
Okay, any more? Tick, 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 tick. I think your work is done here, LA. So
thank you.
Thank you very much.